That can't possibly be right.
Oh, it is.
Charlie states, lips drawn into a thin grimace. His eyes are cold. Colder than I've ever seen. Colder than I'd ever expect from a failing, constantly distracted young man.
And I need this course to stay enrolled, Mr. Hargreave. So I'm all out of options.
He extends a sword to me, hilt first. You can't just come in with a set of rules from 600 years ago and expect to pass. Or expect me to actually fight you? I'm 60 years old, and I've never touched a weapon in my life. Technically, those are lies, but he doesn't need to know that.
The rules are the rules, Mr. Hargreave. And if you turn me down, then I win by default.
He waits in the hallway while I pull a dusty tome from the top shelf. I check. He's right. You'd think that would have been amended by now. Well, fine, I say. Chances are, he's never held a weapon before, and it's been a while since I've had this much excitement. See, I know the rules he's talking about well, even if I hadn't expected it to still be in existence. I was there when it was written. I've changed my face and changed my identity over the years, but I keep coming back to this university. The place where I first gained my power. The place where I turned from a young man into something more. It's dear to me, and its traditions too are dear to me. Some part of me respects the young man for going this far. The courtyard, I say. There's a special place for jewels of this kind. He follows me out of the building, and I take one of the swords. The balance is perfect, and the grip is familiar. Memories from centuries past flood my mind, from that age before I was a professor and an academic, from the age when I was an explorer. We take our positions at opposite ends of the square, to a growing crowd, and no small amount of murmuring bored university students. Begin, I say, eyeing my student's slouching posture, his unfamiliar grip on the sword. And he changes. Not physically, of course, not like I can. But his posture changes. His grip changes. His feet settle into a firm, steady position that will allow him stability and movement. He lunges at me, and it's all I can do to parry. The world becomes a blur. The students around us become nothing in my mind's eye. We dance around the square, blades flickering like tongues of silver flame. Parry, parry, riposte, thrust, dodge. He's good. He's way better than he should be. He's faster than the lazy, constantly tired persona he puts on in class would suggest. He could have had a scholarship to any top university based on fencing alone. And as he parries another thrust, I realize he could have been a master swordsman back in the days of my youth. Parry, parry. I twist and disarm him with one swift movement, then thrust forward. My blade stops at his neck.
It's first to blood, Professor,
he says. I nick him. A single droplet runs down my steel. You lose, I say, panting hard.
Worth it.
He says.
I've wanted to see you in action.
He adds, lowering his voice.
I've heard things.
Oh?
I guess you could say I'm looking forward to becoming your student.
He says.
For real this time.
He's better than he has any right to be. He clearly knows more about my past than anyone else does for some reason. And he reminds me of me, centuries ago. I say without having to think about it. He nods, collects the swords, moving to head off. And Charles, I say. He stops and turns.
Yes, Professor?
Come by my office tomorrow afternoon. We'll see what we can do about extra credit. Can't have you failing out of the university, can we? He smiles.